Welcome to Shift. I'm Peter Hislop, Executive Coach, Advisor to CEOs and boards, irritant to all mediocrity, enemy of comfort zones, especially yours, an advocate for the magic that lies in the executive suite. And for those people who can't find it, just look at where the really good executive coaches have been, and you'll find it there. This podcast is about what I think is the problem with leadership. Leadership as a word slides into everything. It's a promise of better, or when it's missing, it's an excuse for worse. At work, the word is everywhere, pasted on strategy decks, stitched into slogans, paraded like a miracle cure for underperformance. At times of assessment, it hangs in the area, a little uncertain and nervous, looking for a place. It's found 1 trillion homes on the business cards of old, elbowing its way into executive titles. But it's become comfortable. It's climate controlled. It's like a hotel room of a word. Soft lighting, scented candle, perfect temperature. Anything to avoid the rawness of what leadership really is. Uncomfortable, uncertain, alive, full of risk, obstacles and uncertainty. And if you doubt that, have a look at the captains of cricket teams and football teams. Have a look at the captains of boats. You'll find there courage, uncertainty, you'll find discomfort, but you'll find leadership. What if leadership was never meant to be one note, if you want to call it music? What if we've forgotten the music behind leadership? Each word that once danced around it, stewardship, command, influence, vision, they each had their own sound. Stewardship was like a violin's warmth. Command was like the crisp crack of a snare drum. Governance was a steady bass line. Influence was the glide of strings. And vision, the high trumpet of inspiration. And we ironed them flat. We pressed every instrument into one tired note called leadership. Every organisation carries its own symphony, the rhythm of movement, the harmony of collaboration, the silence of reflection after failure. Success doesn't sound like applause anymore. It sounds like alignment. To lead is to listen for that music, to know when to conduct, when to improvise, and when to let the silence teach. And so leadership has become the consultant's greatest hit single, remixed, replayed, and sold on repeat. A song with no soul, the elevator music of corporate life. If your transformation strategy sounds like elevator music, people are going to press door close and get out of the next floor. If you are going to ask people to lead, don't give them a plan. Give them your pulse. Give them the organisation's beat. Words without rhythm are lifeless. But words with music, that's power. That's magic. Look at the royal ceremonies from around the world. The drums speak first, the heartbeat of tradition, the announcement of significance, the summonsing of reverence. Their sound united people long before words did. That's what leadership was meant to be, the invisible drum leading the march. But somewhere along the way we stopped listening. We put in our earphones, we tuned into our own playlists of noise, efficiency, distraction and self. We turned off our antennas to hear leadership's signal. The signal that once whispered, here is truth, here is vision, here it is. We now crave the visible conductor, someone to wave the baton and remind us it's still music that's being made. But the real conductor, the real one, has vanished into the crowd, guiding not with hands but with presence, not with command but with connection. And the music, it's still playing. Waiting for those who will take out their earphones, open their hearts, and hear again the rhythm, what leadership truly sounds like. I want you to go back to the last meeting you had, where you walked out thinking that someone was leading, somebody was influencing, and that you felt safe. You felt safe watching them lead a team for which you have responsibility. You felt safe in their leadership of a team, of you. There is a rhythm that occurs. It doesn't have to be stated. It doesn't have to be talked about. The rhythm is seen in the presence of the leader, in the way the leader talks, more in the way the leader listens. And that's what we've lost. We have tried to codify leadership. We have written hundreds, if not thousands, of books on leadership. Almost every one has a number in its title. The 5 ways to better leadership. The 6 things you shouldn't do if you want to be a leader. And we've left them in libraries. We've left them in bookshops. We've read parts of them on aeroplanes, but never quite finished it. With all this work on leadership, all the talk about leadership points to great leadership in this country, in the world. Point to someone who is able to enact fellowship simply by walking away. Leadership can't be codified into one word. It is the way someone responds to a particular situation. It is the way people respond to that response. Shackleton took people into the Arctic and they followed. And he had to leave them there and they waited. And he came back and he got them and took them out again. Harrowing, long periods in the darkness and the ice. But when he decided a few years later to go back, every single one of the men who went with him the first time went with him the second time. I don't think Shackleton ever used the word leadership when he was discussing what they were doing with his group. They just knew it. It was just there. You know, if you're a member of a sporting team, that there are only 1 or 2 people who can lead the team. And with a bit of luck, the people who want to but can't will stay in the corner waiting. Leadership is special. It uses the language of nuance, the language built on texture and truth. Leadership is logic with a heartbeat, strategy with 100 stories, goals with a crowd's individual expectation and excitement. Because the only leadership that really matters is the one that comes from the heart and the guts. This is Shift, a podcast that's going to be talking about leadership and truth and success. So I want you to slow down for a moment, and when you think about leadership, stop pretending that you can't hear the music. It's there. It's in the rhythm of your work. It's in the chaos of your days. It's in the joy of your success. Turn to that music and for heaven's sake, start dancing. This is Peter Hislop and this has been Shift.